Right, I'm sitting in my bedroom now, and like I said before, I'm going to get used to the phone. It'll take a while because, well, I talk a bit fast. It's hard to express yourself. But what it is sometimes in life, I feel because I can't read and write, and I've got a chance to put my point across. Whether it gets anywhere, it doesn't really matter really. Just a principle really. Because when I've been on this earth, the years I've been on, and when I watch this telly, all the evil crimes and all the things we see, and the things we keep seeing, every generation we watch that telly, and when we see all the wars which we see, imagine a child being born, and when that child's being born, he's going to watch that telly. And when he sees the telly, he can see things what happen. It could be a white man, a black man, or it could be any nationality, and what happens at the end, well, a little baby don't know nothing about hundreds of years going back, all the evil things of slavery on both sides of the world. And all we keep doing is keep showing programs of very sad things in this life. This world will never ever change, and all we seem to do at the end of the day is destroy this planet. When you think how long it takes to put this planet together, and overnight it is destroyed and bombed and everything, do people realise at the end of this world there's absolutely nothing? But I'm not going to sound right, but what I will say to this, I wonder if the old world, if we put the old world together and said to everybody in this world, if there wasn't heaven, would you believe in that religion? I wonder what they're saying. Not my answer is. My answer comes from one place and one place only. Because whatever I do in life, I don't want nothing back in terms of I've got it. And that's called life, because once I start talking about religion, it seems like I want something back in return. I don't want nothing back in return, because in this life, when I watch this television, all these animals being treated the way they are, I wonder if people realise, when you think of the world, of some religions, and one of the religions is this. Now, I think it's a Sahara Desert, these girls are going around, and I see it a couple of weeks ago, so it's a true thing. And what happened is all these rats in this fortress, and these girls all telling it, the bloke got a cup, he put it in the bowl and got some milk and drank it. And they said, well, he said, I believe when they die, they reckon they're the rats of their soul. And when you look at some of the this religious people, I'm not going to say I'm right, but watch it. Even some countries, these monkeys go play, well, they eat out the plates, they jump in the bath and everything, and they are part of the circle. And what it is, when you think of it, they believe again, they become monkeys. I'm not going to sound right again, because what I will do, I ain't going to use the word religion, because I've heard it so many times in life. And all you hear over the world is certain religion, you do this, you do that. Again, not going to sound right, but what I will say, when you look at the world and what we believe in and what we're doing, can't man see at the end of the day, it ain't going to be long for this planet's wiped off. And believe me, when it does get wiped off, there's no way you can take the clock back, because the damage is done, because I think man ain't learnt his lesson. He's going to keep going on. The weirdest thing is, how about this? We all get mad thinking it's for real, whatever. When you get old, you realise, how about this? When you love something so dearly, at the very end where you're involved with people you love, and it's all gone. Absolutely nothing. See, in my world I live, I wake up and what a beautiful day. It's pouring rain, listen, go in the dead boy see nothing. Today I see my brother in the coffin today, and I'll be honest with you, it sounds weird really. He looked at home, and I think if I said to him, do you want to pop out there, come out of the coffin hall, I think he'd tell us it worked, because he was blind, he was lying on the bed for years, he couldn't, but I've never met a man so dedicated as my brother with a woman. And believe me, some people can be very hard work, but in my brother's world, he loved us that much. And no matter how much I talk, I wouldn't put her down, because he's well. And if you love something like he did, I've never met a man on this planet. The boy knew what he'd done for him. He helped him because he had a job to talk to as a kid. And Stan was there all the time. And when you think of it, he's like two dads in one, because because my brother adopted him, and he had all the time. He used to pick him up, take him here, take him there, And I'll be honest with you, I'll be hard to come with women, but something like Joan, I don't think she realised how lucky she was of a man like Stan to do what he done. And I've got to say this, how about this? That day, he's given Stan everything in the world. If Stan got out of that coffin, he'd like to shake his hand and say, Dave, what you done for me is out of this world. I know it's my time now, but I've got my mind at rest. I'll look at him in that coffin. He's got a massive great and this bloke's put him in a place right next to somebody, which is hard to believe. And I think, you know, sir, I cannot believe what that boy's done for my brother, really. But I do know one thing. He's doing all this because he feels. I see it today, he cried today. I cried, I've done the cry, because he had to let it out, and he knows the reason why. Because what my brother done for him, because to poke up the woman what my brother was with, but I'm not here to judge, I'm not poke myself. But at the same time, when you think what he done and how he stood by that woman, and things happening in that old circle, which you can't end them because why? It wouldn't be right, because he's rest in peace, and as far as I'm concerned, he knows when he left this planet, he's loved that all the time. He loved them kids. He always said to me, you had him a pie joint, and when the time's right, and I said, Stan, it ain't going to be long, because like I said to you, you lay in that bed, you don't get up, you don't do nothing, you're sitting there. I know all day long, you are what you are, Stan. You're happy in your own world. When the time comes, you'll accept it at the end of the day. But I do know one thing, you've done a fucking good job. Dave knows what you've done. I'm going to tell you now, if he's here today, I'll tell him, say, you know, when you leave this planet, Sam, this boy here has done so much for you. He has paid you back 1,000,000 times over, and I reckon one day that man has done such a good job to that boy. If I was Dave and I won a few quid, I'd go to that man, because he put himself out. This bloke who got this place where he keep the coffin. And what a lovely coffin. And I told him, man, this job you're made for, right? Because you've done such a good job, I think it's out this world. I know, if I was David's dad, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd come to you, because what you've done for that boy, he's so happy what you've done is out of this world. Because you put yourself out, you might not know the bloke, but you see, he had a broken heart, and you repaired it, because I tell you I do know. When he see that my brother in that coffin, he knew he's at rest, he's there now, and he knows he wouldn't want it another way, because he knows at the end of the day, he's going to be put into a nice place, and he's next to somebody which is hard to believe in. So I think what he's done for that boy is good. And like I said today, one day, if you're coming to him, you'll look up, man, because I know money ain't everything in life, but sometimes you can thank the man. I know he's got to keep a business going, and it costs money. But what I'm going to say at the end of the day, I'm very grateful for what the man done to my brother, and I know he's something more grateful than ever been in the world, and that's David, because he knew what he done for him was out of this world. And when we look around and see all the things we see around the world, and all we keep doing is fucking bombing, we're blowing up buildings. What do people think? Do they think there's something at the very end? Do they think there's heaven? What I'm putting across to you, I'm saying to myself, I ain't saying right about what I say, because you've got to be careful in this art preaching. What I do know at the end of the day, I know all we're doing is passing through. Also, when I get to the very end of this whole life, I've had my life, and when it comes, I've had a good life, and I'm very grateful for what it is. But I do know one thing, I will never mention the 3-letter word, because it seems like, by doing that, it seems like I want something back in return. I want nothing back in return, because my belief is here. So you can come at me and say, Rodney, what do you think? I think this. I would never use that word, because I think all through my world I lived in, through many years, all I've ever seen is religion caused too many problems. So I reckon if everybody in this world had said to everybody, if there wasn't heaven or whatever you believe in beyond, would you believe in that religion? I think most people give the answer, which I won't give. My answer is, if somebody says to me, I tell you, God, you know what it is? Whatever I do, I don't want nothing back in return. I've got it already, it comes from there. That's my world. In fact, look at sun, look up at that sun, and I think, if it weren't for that sun, what would there be? Nothing. So really, if you want to worship sun don't get sound right, but to me, it gives light. But also, what we're doing, we are destroying this planet, and I reckon one day, no, when this could happen, we are going to pay the price, because all we keep doing is taking trees down, taking things from this old planet, all the precious metal. It's got all the gold, the precious metal, everything is taken from the earth. It's all coming from out of the world what we all live in. How long it could be for something done happen? All the tremors, the earthquake, you see the volcano, destroying it, all the animals, how we treat animals here and there. It's unbelievable, really. But I wonder if people realise, if we all knew there's all going to be animals, and one day that might be us, I wonder it might make us think about life, what we are here for. Because don't you find, we all think we want something back in return, we all think there's something at the end of it. Listen, don't talk about that, Roy. You don't ask for nothing more. Because why? When you're all trying to write, you to go, because remember this in life, there's people being born, suffering right now. And when you look on the telly, they're asking for money for a couple of £3. And if you ain't got that money, people die. A couple of £3. So every time you ask for money for every billionaire, millionaire in this world, take a couple of £3 for them. Because I bet this right. I say to people, I said this to man today, I look at my life going, I've seen a lot in life on both sides. Certain areas I won't enter because I know certain areas are dangerous. But what I do know is if, when I think of life, how short life is, and when you realise what I can be, wait till you get near the end, and if you get too close to death, you might come back and say, do you know that, Rodney? I was that close away from death. Now I'm going to live. Fuck me, isn't it weird what we all got to go through to realise what life is all about? And when that day comes, you realise what I can be. And also, people got to remember one thing this time. When we leave this planet, as far as I'm concerned, that's it. If there is something, I don't want to know why, could let it come around. Because at the end of the day, when I see what I see, I think somewhere we're going to be punished in the karma. And karma will come round, and when it does come round, it'll make you think. Because I tell you, how many times you heard people say, I think I've been here before. I tell people, I think I've been here before. I must be doing something right. So why is that? I'm still going around. Life is one vicious circle. It's how you play the game. But what I do know, never let money rule you. Because once you let money rule you, it destroys you. And also, when you look at people, you see all these love programs on there, all these program people, with their arts. How long is it going to be for somebody don't end up doing something silly or committing suicide? Why? You're playing with a dangerous thing. You're playing with people's minds and heart. I said something one day to a person. I said, one day, where's certain people, might go on telly and they put these people down. They look at cool. But sometimes it's like that woman, what's her name? I know on the X, I think it's X Factor, that Susan Ball. When certain people look at, well, what are them? But let her have a say. And when she opened her mouth, it brought tears to the crowd. And I reckon if I had to put my life on this, I think I would. That woman won the day. But what it is, it got all mucked up through the votes and all the rest. And because so much money involved, and because they knew she was going to win it, it backfired and the other person won it. Where in life, sometimes money, that is what it does sometimes. Because that woman, when I heard her voice, I tell you what, I thought that is, and that shocks a lot of people. And I think Simon Cowell, when you look at that woman, he couldn't believe it. And at the end he says, yeah, but you weren't expecting that. See what it is, where it go wrong. We can't judge the book by the cover, but some people do. They also judge the way we look. When you're in the court and they look at you, you don't know what you say. Sometimes they look so, you're guilty. What's that? The way you look, the way you dress. You can't judge a man like that, but people do. But me, I think it's good and bad. When a man judges another man, you're looking down on me going, how about this? I didn't look down on you, why is that? Because one, I'm not perfect. If I was perfect, it'd be different, I'm not. But you must be perfect, so you can't look down, because whatever I think of, this world, I would never change it, because we're all different. But what I do know, sometimes there is somebody to put the point across, and if the world only realised what life's all about at the very end, it might be a better world. But you want to know something? I think we've gone too far, and one day we will pay the price, and you can't take the clock back. Damage all the millions of pounds that's spent up into space, people starving and all that. I think the thing we should be doing, we're doing things to make up for the sun that take over when the sun burns out. So we're doing something very dangerous, and it's only a matter of time. Something will happen. We're starting to get tremors, and when that's the signs of saying something will happen one day. So at the end of the day, I think, when I wake up, I think, what a beautiful day. And when I hear somebody moan, I say, Governor, there's a man there, he's moaning, he's got no fucking sleeves. What I said to him, what about the man with no legs? And it don't stop there. We don't realise how lucky we are. So people moan, look around the world. We're so wrapped up in our own world. When you see people, one day our world's going to go badly wrong. And what's going to happen then? We want people to help us. When we look around the world, think it don't happen, and when it does happen, you want help, you think, so no one's help. I wonder why. Because we don't do nothing to help the other people. Like these little young girls walking blind where they can't, there's not enough money being put into their system, because too much been put up the top. And when you think they're going balls out, the few send us £2, what an insult that is, £2. You should be asking for £2. It's been done. The world should get together and try and put it right. Because I tell you, the way it's going, it's never put right. Well, I think them poor little children, this world, suffering and all the rest of it, send £2, all that, so send £2. What about this? One day, when our world goes badly wrong, we want people to help us. And believe me, we ain't got the right to let people help us. Well, look what we do. We ain't got the time. We always moaned about this, that, and other. Well, here people put politicians down. Listen, I've been on this earth for many years. I won't judge them, because whoever gets in, no one's perfect. And when somebody says, well, you got to say to them, well, okay, what about it? What do you do if you're in the position? You do your same. So what right you got to say? But the world's got to be run by people, but there's too many chiefs and not opinions. All we want really is a few there, all year round, to put the point across, and to make a good point by getting people together. And also at the end of the day, if we can do that, and like I said before, if we can say to people, if there wasn't heaven, would you believe in that religion? I wonder what he'd say, because most people believe the sight beyond. Even if there is, who cares? We shouldn't be worrying what's beyond. We're here now, make the most of it. Where we're going wrong, we all think we're this, that. And when you think all these big churches, it just makes you laugh. How much does it cost to keep the church going all year round? And when you think like the cathedral, you get certain things go up there, it's nearly empty all year round. It's freezing cold. You've got a massive big building where people can live in there. And if you go up there, when they turn you away, if you park up there, they're going to find you. What for? When you think what we're doing and how much you left of them churches there, and people leave millions of pounds by, because they're the people who believe they're going to go to heaven. Well, they could be right, but to me, they're buying a ticket. I'd have to buy my ticket. My ticket's here now. I don't have to worry about them, because what I've said before, everything I do can only come to one place, and I ain't after for reward, I've got it already, and that's putting in my chest, because that is for real. And they all say, Rodney, tell my question about the circle of life. Paddy, if there wasn't heaven, would you be above me? Rodney, if there wasn't heaven, no point. See? I know, it's only for a bit of a joke. Look, they could be right, who knows? And I wouldn't know. But sometimes in life things happen, and down a certain religion things happen, and down to things happening like that, you see certain religion, it might be like today. Many years ago, I think the bungalow burnt down, all around that carol was Mother Mary. I often think, what Mother Mary? And I wonder if that'd be alive today. Again, they might be right about the religion, but to me, it seems like we want something back in return. I want nothing back in return, because boy, I'm in, I'm going to make the most of this whole life. And I never moan, because why? Because why? We're only here for a short time. And when your time's up, you know then, when you're just about to go leave this planet, you realise then, it's too late, and I bet you think, I could have done all this, done that. Can't take the clock back up, you're going forward now. So what I'm going to say to you, make the most of the time. And stop moaning, because I was taught by an Egyptian many years ago, the face them up every line will tell a story. Don't worry about worry, because don't worry about you. Close your eyes, what do you see? Nothing. When we reach a level dead and gone, what can you take with? Nothing. So what can you really worry about? Nothing. As long as you've got your family and good health, you've got everything in the world. There's certain things in life you cannot buy, and that's one of them. Make them up. When people moan, I'll go up here, hey, come. You get so worth £1 million, yeah? And I supposed to buy it, yeah? You can say, yeah. And now let me ask you, what was that? I don't know what I've sold. Good. Come with me. Take the hospital. Hey, look, see that man? He's a multi-billionaire. He should give all his money for your health. All it is, too late, Governor. You should think before you fucking jump in that water. Why? Because that's too late. He's out of the hospital. You're in the dime. See, people don't think, they think money's a thing. Look, I know people, this money what people get, and a lot of rich people, and some of the rich people, what they hand out their son, I bet it ain't long for him to grave, because why? Money can rule people, and what money can do, it can buy things, and what it can buy, it ain't very nice. In the world, I've seen a lot in the world, I come from And believe me, there's certain things in life, I'm not here to put people down because we all do a little bit wrong here and there, but at the same time, you get good police, you get bad police. Again, I'm not here because you've got to have some sort of law. Why? For anarchy, if you had anarchy, we're begging for mercy. But what it is, there's always two sides. If you blame them sort of people, they've got ways of working, ways of lots of things you would never believe in. I've seen a lot about life and what goes on. But in the same time, make the most of this old planet, because at the end of the day, we're all related to it somewhere along the line. And if it is true when you think we all become animals, and it could be true, because I don't want it to be true, so let it keep going. And if there is something at the end of it, I think one day we'll all get paid back. And how good you are, the world will pay the price. Why? Because look what we're doing to this whole planet. Look what we're doing. We're destroying it slowly but surely. And people think they're right what we're doing. You cannot be right all the time. But at the same time, at the end of the day, like I said before, in other things, well, I think I worked for 30 years at a lay-by, and they come along, I know I had rights up that lay-by. When I get a van, I put a few little things, and it's called nibblers. And I had people come there, people, even one bloke who said this, at a professor of university, he heard me talk, and he liked a bit when I said, now, how about this going? You pay me £3. In your marriage, a method. Now tell me method. Easy, go, what? That £3 I give you, go, but what? When I look down, you won't know it's going to come from the dead. You can't afford, I'll give it away. It's called a will. You can only see option family argue over property, land, they killed each other for property. And you think, do you know something? When he left this, you give me something to think about, because at the end of the day, he realised he could be a wealthy man, he was a professor of the university, what you said is right, because at the end of the day, people do leave lots for the family, and half the time, where's it going? Well, you've only got to look down if you can, see it yourself. And if you could see, you look down, look, I left all that money to my son. He's dead now. He had a flat in Cranley. He looked 150 zone. All his money gone. What's the money gone? He's got all that. Who left him? All that. See what money done? If the old man knew what he could leave his son, he put him in the grave home, I'm pretty certain he'd have burned it or fucking give it to charity. And when you think all these animals world and the way we treat animals is out of this world. Well, I've got a dog that I've always talked about, this old dog. He's a lovely dog. And the weird thing is, just at the mate, no money can buy it. I don't care how skint I am, because why? You have some sort of morals in life, because some people don't care, money's their God. It'll never be my God, because it's like the devil, you can't live with it, and you can't live without it. And I don't worry about money. I'm lucky, because I've got people around me out in the circle I come from, because I call it karma. Well, I do a lot for the people, it comes back that way, because sometimes people need help. Sometimes they do me wrong. You think, nah, I'm not in a joke. Well, sometimes you push away from mine, in fact, the next day that person commits suicide. It'll make you think, all right, they might do you wrong, but sometimes in life, some people can't have because what they go through in life. But again, we'll make a testing, but then sometimes you have got to do a life. If you don't, you become that karma, you'll be that losing, you won't be getting what you would like to get. So at the end, by playing the game, you won't go far wrong if you play it right. Because I believe it's called karma. And for most people, some people it might go away, but somewhere in life, it comes back in a way we never understand. And at the end of the day, make the most of your life, because you're only here for a very short time. And I think, remember this, forget about all what you believe in, I think just live it, because at the very end of this life, everything's all gone. Absolutely nothing at all. And if you think like that, you live a lot better, because no matter how you love somebody, you don't realise till the day comes when it's all gone, and you look back on your life, you think, look at it, all what we go through, we're precious in life, and there's absolutely nothing. And you all think you go to church. Sometimes I go to church, get a bit warm, bit of food, but what it is, what makes me angry is all the millions of pounds for them big churches, and people can only go at a certain time of year, it's empty all year round, and the money what pours in them churches is out of this world. People, when they die, they want to leave loads of money. I know people left loads of money in church because they think they're buying a ticket to heaven. You know, like the cathedral. A few years ago, I think through the 3 houses cathedral. And they're up there, you get parked up there for a while, so I had no lived for many years, and then you get them fined coming through there. I thought, I can't be, because what's happening one day there, I just cleaned all up, I swept it up, I've done lots of things up there. So even though people thought he was doing a good job, I didn't get paid, I didn't want to get paid, because I was staying up for quite a bit. I swept all around it, done everything, and sat up where somebody done something, and if I can done a little bit of damage, I cleaned it all up beautiful. Then people don't realise that at the cathedral, I got robbed, I did, all down to what happened at the cathedral. I cleaned it all up, because I threw a lot of stuff away, and then all the stuff out of the car, all smashed, everything. I clean absolutely spotless. And for what reward I got out of that church, I didn't want nothing. But when I think they try to fine me for a car, which I didn't know till late on in life, a fine, that ain't right. Because what I done for them, they don't realise at the end of the day what it cost me. I think that I had all stuff taken out my van, I load other things on. And when I think what I done with that church, I load up there. But that's the way life is. Like I say, at the end of the day, if that's what I want, give them what they want, because to me, at the end of the day, that ain't right what they done it. Don't be that day. But I know, I'm going to put a little bit, I've got a van coming soon, I'll put a little bit on there. I was Nibblies for 30 years. I won't mention the name of the firm, because at the end of the day, the reason why I'm there, there's Steve got a cafe down Woolwich Road, they can put double yellow lines. If they do that, that man could be out of business. And also, they can put a bus stop. If that happens, that man will be out of business. And then you want to think to yourself, what happens then? People get up and will go to the cafe, he ain't there. But only it's that week. When they think what they're doing, that man up the top's got to realise it's that man that gets to work in the morning. And if there's no cafe, you just can make it hard work. And what will happen, if you keep doing the little man all the time, that man up the top's going to have to pay the price, and he'll pay it in a way he might not like, because that'll get weak and that'll collapse. Because you can't keep doing what you're doing when you've got all the 30 years. Like that mate, and it will be broke out. It ain't right. And I said a few months ago, I've said it before, I said, didn't you get it? Because the labourers, the window, he could have had a few cars, but there's nothing there really. Do a little bit. I said, did you ever get any money? No, Steve, they should have given you compensation. It was your livelihood, mate. For me, that's 30 years. And if I'd gone further with the right man, Mr. Brillo, which would take on, I would have won the day. Because why? He's done the balls and they got compensation. But with me, it gets to the point where you've got to know certain people. And the way life is, the way I live, is it's all you just got to live the life. Because whoever it will be, will be. Because me, I can look back and think, like, that's life, don't get about that. But I like to have a go. And if I have a go and I do get somewhere, that'd be good, why? It just shows you. But in the many years it is, it can happen. And when it does happen, you think that's good, Bob, because that big firm at the end of the day, because I won't mention name, that firm though, it goes a very long way when you look after that man. Did you hear what they've done that bloke? God, if fucking well look like them, that's good, because I think the man's entitled it. And it goes a long way for people to talk, because them jobs up there, only certain people get that, it's just you know, and sometimes they might call it the brown envelope game, which I know quite a bit about that really, but then that's not a business wise, because I do the same, so I'm not here to put them down, because why, they got to work, and they're good workers, they know what they're doing, but at the same time, even people will come on our way, you should have been sorted of it, I know that, the same as mate, the woman's okay. When they start doing that, look out them, because if they don't, you'll find that top's going to weak. And the way the world's going, things are bad now, especially with all this bad, the people out of work and all that. Look out the man at the bottom, because if you don't, you're going to have problems. Well, I'm a bit tired now, so I'm going to see the brother's getting buried tomorrow, so I'm going to see him, make everything all right. But I tell you what, I can't be that man's done so much for that, the rubbish out of this world. I think he's got his award, and I think I'm going to let him know that tomorrow when I see him. I'm going to have a look at the rest now, because I talk quite a bit now. I'm going to be charged a bunch. Bye.